Hi, Rich Spezzano here from Digitally Fearless, and today I thought I'd do a fun project. Nothing serious, so don't even try and tell me how bad my artwork is. But I thought it would be fun to take some pictures that maybe kids drew, and like this one here is a crayon drawing, and I will have the links of where I got these. But if you take your own kids' pictures, it would be wonderful. And you can either sit with your kids and enhance these pictures and show them what you can do with it and let them have suggestions while you're doing it, or you can just create it yourself and then print it out and give it to them as a gift. So let's get started. So I have this picture of the crayon thing, and in the background I can use this cartoon background, which I'll show you again in the links. I pulled this off the web. And also you can take a picture. I just picked a picture of this house, but you can pick a picture maybe of your house, and then their cartoon characters can be in front of your house, or maybe a picture of your rooms or kitchen or living room, and you can put their characters in there. So let's get a close-up of this cat so we can work on that first. So I'm just hitting the Command plus, and then I'm using the space bar to move over here, and I think it's too big, so I'll go a little bit smaller so we can get the whole cat in there. And I think that looks pretty good. And let's lock that up. I just put a lock on that pixel layer. And now all I'll do is take a paintbrush. I'm going to show you two ways. First, you can, if you want, take an ellipse tool. And what you should do is just go like this. And the reason the color is there, because I was practicing before. So basically what I did here, when you move this out of the way, is I went here where the ellipse tool is and dragged to pick one of those colors, and then I selected it. And it's a little slightly different now, but that's okay. So you can use the ellipse tool if you want, just like that. And one way not to make it look so perfect is to go to convert to curves, and then say you can click with the node tool. You can make some clicks here, and you can move this around, and just so it doesn't look so real. And you can do stuff like that, and we'll turn it to 3D later. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to show you just a down and dirty fun way to do it. So I'm going to delete that, and I'm now going to add a pixel layer on top. And all I'm going to do is take a paintbrush, and let me try a 25% hardness. It's a soft brush, and I'm just going to paint. And I don't need it to be perfect. And I'm using a mouse right now. I normally could paint really well and do all things with a tablet, but I know most of you don't own tablets. So everything I've been teaching so far, since I've started here a year ago doing these tutorials, less than a year ago actually, is everything is done with a mouse. So you can follow along. So there you go. That's the stomach. I'm going to type stomach. I'll type body. Let me just call it body. And then what I'll do with that body is I think I will select that layer, go to effects, and let's see if we can give it a little bit of a 3D. We click 3D, and with the soften, I'm going to soften it up. And I think that looks pretty good. You can go a little further if you want, but I think that looks pretty good. So I'm going to leave it at that. And then now I'm going to make another pixel layer directly underneath it. And I'm going to type in tail, T-A-I-L. And on that tail layer, I will do the same thing with this paintbrush. And I'll start further in because it's behind it. And I'm just going to go follow right up here. And you'll know if I got it wrong because when you 3D it, and I'll show you, it'll show all your mistakes. So I'll go 3D again, and you see that? So if you see a hole like that, just repaint on top of that hole. So that's good like that. And if you felt like you did too much, just get an eraser. Very simple. I'm not liking that, so I'm going to undo that. And I think maybe I'll cut some of that out, and there. That's not bad. Again, it does not have to be exactly like the drawing. This is just for fun. And I will open up the effects again, and we want to soften that up too. And that's good. So what we could see the difference right there. You hide it and that's it. And now the feet. And these are the easy things. Then we'll get to the face in a minute, but let's just simply do feet. So I am going to once again add a pixel layer. And with my left and right brackets, I can left would make the brush smaller, right makes it bigger. I am just going to go that way. And because we're 3Ding it, you need to go up higher behind it. Otherwise, it'll show up like it won't look like it's attached when we're done with this. So I'm just basically trying to follow similar to what whoever drew this had. It's not perfect. Like I said, I just went off there, but it's not that important. And once again, I'm going to do effects, 3D. I will soften the 3D. And I think that looks okay. So that's easy. And let's call this feet, legs. Legs is good. And now let's get a close-up of the head. So for the head, first we'll do the face features. So I'll open again. This time I actually am going to use the ellipse tool. I'm going to take the ellipse tool and kind of go the shape of the eye like that. And I will turn it. And before I make the color correct, the correct way, I'm actually going to duplicate that, Control Command J, or you can copy and paste it. And I'm going to turn that one into a black and shrink that. So I'm going to move that in like that maybe. I don't know, can you see what I'm doing? Let me get even closer. So that looks like that. Now this one, the outside of the eye, whoever created it decided they wanted a light green of some sort. So I'm going to take this and kind of pick one of these green colors. I don't want it too dark, but kind of pick one of these green colors and make it that color. And I'm also going to give it a slight outline, like really just a little touch like that. And let's see what we look like when we pull out. And there's an eye. Okay, so now I'm taking that eye, and I'm actually going to just, since we're not going to use this for anything else, I'm going to rasterize that eye into one, and then I'm going to duplicate it, Control Command J, and move the other eye over. So there's the eyes. That's very simple. Next thing I want to do is the nose. So the nose is easy. We put a new pixel layer, and we just take a brush again. And this time the color of the brush should be, let's see what we're doing here. The color of the brush should be one of these little reds in here. So maybe that one. And let's see. And then I'm going to make the brush really small. Whoops, I don't even know. There we go. Going to make the brush really small, and I'm just going to dab a little bit there. Something like that. And you know what? I think the brush, I'm not doing it with everything, but I think with the nose, I think it would be nice also with the nose to give it a little bit of a 3D. Not much, just shrink it down a little less. And then we're going to do the mouth. Now the mouth, there's a couple of ways you can do the mouth. So one is if you prefer using these shape tools, you can use the crescent, just like that, right? And then you can turn it like this. I'm holding shift so it turns correctly. And then with the curve, you can just make the curve really bad and then no outline. And you kind of have that, but my attitude is that it's too kind of perfect for a kid's thing. So for example, I could have done this and got it close to where we want it and shrunk that in a little bit. And you get the idea. But I didn't want to do that. I just think it's easier to just add a new pixel layer and do what the kid did with the crayon and take a tiny, using my left brackets, and kind of follow this along just like that. That's easy. And I think I'm okay with that. Maybe it was a little thick, but I'll leave it for now. And then the other thing is the whiskers. Let's do the whiskers. Now whiskers are a little bit kind of different. I don't know if I need to put a new layer, but I'll do it just in case. So what I'll do for Whiskers is I'll take a paintbrush. Yes, I did need a new pixel layer. I'm going to make that paintbrush black this time. I'm going to go really, really small. So with my left bracket, I'm really going tiny there. And what I'll do is, I did this in another tutorial. I showed you click once and then you hold shift and you click again and it creates a line. And I think that line is too thick, so I'm going to do it again. I'm going to go smaller. I'm going to almost go like a 1 pixel here. So I'm clicking once, hold shift, click again. So I'm going to turn this off just to see how small it is. And I kind of think I like that. It's smaller than what they had, but I think it's going to work. I could go one more if I want to go one more with my bracket up. So, and then I click once, hold shift, click again. And then click once, hold shift, click again. And actually I'll do the other side on the same layer because it's click once, hold shift, click once, hold shift, and then click once, hold shift. And that's the whiskers. And so we'll leave that the whiskers. That's the mouth. And so the whiskers should be behind the nose. So let's put there we go. 2 more things we need for the cat. We need the actual face and we need the ears. So let's do that now. Let's do the face, which I'm going to do exactly the way I showed you before. But this time I'm going to move it over the body and under the face features. So I'm clicking here and added a new pixel layer. I'm taking the paintbrush. I'm going to choose a color, and this time the color is, it may not be exactly the same because they went a little lighter here in the face, but we can kind of get one of these yellows. I'm just going to do that. And with the paintbrush, I'm going to make with my right bracket, I'm going bigger. And let's just start painting. I'm just going to go like that. And go further under here. We'll put it under the body later in a minute. Go further because it's important when you 3D it so it doesn't look like it's not attached on this. And according to their picture, the face was underneath. Let me actually move that below the body. And then on that one, once again, we can close this now. Once again, we're going to go 3D, Effects, 3D. And there's kind of your face. And that's not bad. And then now the last thing is the ears. So I think I will use the triangle. And we'll start for the triangle. We'll go something like that. And you can paint this in yourself, but triangles are harder for me because I'm not a kid. So kids can do triangles probably better than I can. So I'll just do this. I'm only kidding. Of course I could do a triangle, but you know what I mean. I'm going to do that, and I'm going to give it the effects. And the triangle should be under the head. And we'll give it the effects just like before, the 3D. I'm not trying to get fancy. We could do all kinds of crazy things, but I didn't want to. I just want to do this. And then we'll take that and we'll duplicate it. Control or Command J, we'll move it. And so if we did everything right, let's see. And if we hide this, we now have, let's go further out. We now have a cat. Now we can, if we want to, take this layer and darken the head, but I'm not going to darken the head. I'm going to leave it. And then what I'll do next is I'm going to select the whole cat, all the parts of the cat, Control or Command G, group it, and I'm going to duplicate it, Control or Command J, hide the original, and go right click and rasterize. So now it's just a picture, nothing but a picture. So let's get close to this picture. And I could get fancy and do dodge and burn with all kinds of layers, but since this is not a real production, it's only something for fun, I'm just going to choose burn. Let's see, maybe the opacity is a little low. I don't know how much. We're just going to test it out, and we're under shadows. And there's 2 things with burn. We can go right across here, which gives it a dark shadow where it's dark. I'm going to undo that. And we could take away protect hue, and it kind of gives it some color like that. I'm going to make my my hardness of my brush really soft right now. And I kind of like the color. I'm going to go with the color. I'm going to go hue. And I'm actually going to lower the opacity even more. I think really light. And let's see how that works. I like that better. So we can just add as we need it. Under the tail, you would think it would be a little bit darker. And it kind of gives it a little interest there. Near the head, I think I would like a little bit of color by the head here. Like that. And maybe the ears. And then, of course, the feet, especially closer to the body. Right here, like that. And that's pretty good. So let's get a full. Again, we get the full thing. And now so we have a cat now. And if you really wanted to work with the background or the house, you can work with the, we'd have to raise this house. So let's go like this. And then we'll get the dad in a minute. But let's raise the house more in proportion to what we're doing. And now let's go back. And so the cat could be hanging out in front of the house like that. So you get the idea. So now we're going to turn the house off. We're going to now work on the dad, which way I think he's the dad. I don't know, or the mom. I can't tell. So that's easy. Again, we're actually going to just follow the same steps. So let's do it. We're going to add a layer. Take the paintbrush. Assuming it's a black. It could be a slight gray if we want to go a little bit lighter because black is tough to work with. And with a wide brush. And I think I'm going to make it a little bit harder because black is going to show everything. And we're going to just go right around here, just like this. Oops, that was bad. Undo. I'm going to try that again. Let's try and follow with the mouse. Okay. And we could do this in one shot. Not sure if we should, but let's try doing the whole arms in one shot. And how about like that? Again, not perfect, not trying to be. It's a kid's drawing, so I'm going to let it go. And once again, effects, 3D. Let's go. Am I in the 3D? Nope. Sorry, wrong thing. 3D, and we want to soften it. And you could, before I soften it all the way, you see the mistakes. So let's paint where those holes are. And now we can go soften it to make it look a little bit more like a dad's shirt. I don't know. And we'll do the same thing with the feet very quickly. I'm going to take this, add a new layer, go right down like that, like that. Again, not perfect. Not trying to be. How many times have I said that so far on my tutorials? You can't try to be perfect on a tutorial that lasts like, I don't know, under 30 minutes. Because if you really want to do the job right, you got to do it like take hours and sometimes look at it the next day. And so anyone who really does this kind of thing knows this. So I just try to give you the ideas to start with. Okay, and we'll move the feet underneath. And again, I'm trying to be quick because I don't want this tutorial to go on really long because I'll bore you. So let's do again. Now we're going to add another layer. Let's pick this flesh tone color of this particular person. And we'll do this. Actually, I think I'll go a little bit to the darker one. Maybe like that, maybe. And we'll paint. I'm going to bring it in further because it's behind. And I'm going to kind of do that. And then I'm going to do this. Well, that was bad. Let's undo that. Let's try that again. We're going to go this way. And then they seem to have made a circle. And instead of making lines for the fingers, I'll make the brush smaller, but I'll just go a little bit thicker like that. I think it's what they intended when they were drawing. So let's just do that. And once again, effects, 3D. Again, I mean, I could be doing a million different kinds of effects, but this is, again, I'm not trying to be fancy, I'm trying to just do that. And that's it. So, okay, I'm going to do the rest very quickly. So you know the steps already, so I will just very quickly do it. Add another one. Take a paintbrush, color. That was the flesh tone we had before, and I'm just going to go like this. Oops, undo that. I'm going to go down like that, and up like that, and around, kind of like that, and then fill it in. Oops, making it bigger, fill it in. Not going to worry about it. And just to see if I made any mistakes, I'm going to do the 3D and soften it, and that looks okay. Okay, and now let's do the hair. Paintbrush. I'm clicking the letter D, which brings me back to my colors back to black and white, and now I'll use a black brush, and I'm going to go really small. And all I'm doing with the black brush is I'm going to be, and it's hard with the mouse, I'm just going to be doing squiggles on a new layer. The new layer will be on top of the face, so there we go, and I'm going to do squiggles. No, that's actually too big. I'm going to go really small. Here we go. Ready? I'm just going to go around and around and around, and it's not, I don't know how much they did. This is all I'm doing, so. Because I am an artist, and I do these wonderful things, and these portraits, I think we should put them on. I think we should have an auction of all this artwork that I've done, because, and actually I put stuff, some of my things are actually in galleries, in local galleries, but I've never put any of these, so maybe I should, because they are so beautiful, and I think that's good, except I don't like that little piece that just went in there. Let's erase that one. Right there. Okay, that looks good. So now I'm going to hide the face. That's the hair. I'm going to hide the face. I should be labeling all these, but I'm not going to bother right now. And now let's just go another one, new layer. Let's do paintbrush. The color is going to be whatever color these eyes are. Let's go with the medium one here. And let's get this out of my way and just paint. I'm not even going to do circles. I'm not picking shapes. I'm just going to do this real quick so we can show the finished product like that. I'm actually going to do this. I'll use the same color for the nose, and I'm going to just kind of go like this with the mouth. And that's good. And let's turn the face back on. Whoops, I forgot the glasses. Can't forget the glasses now. And I think, yeah, that's good. Now let's do glasses. So on top of, under the hair and on top of the face, I believe, actually, the eyes, nose, and mouth should be under the face, over the face too. So now I'm going to add another layer, and let's do glasses. And again, I'm hitting D, which gets me back to black and white, and then I'll switch it. And with my paintbrush, very simple this time, I'm just going to draw a line there. I'm going to draw a line there, go like that. I probably should have done it a little bit in a brown. It looks, now that I'm looking at it, it looks a little bit brown, but I will just leave it. I can actually recolor it if I want, but oops, I don't like that last one. I want it to go like under the hair a little bit. There we go. And the glasses, I think I will give it the effects, because glasses should be kind of a 3D look. So I'm doing kind of that. Wrong one. There we go. Soften that. It kind of has a little 3D look to it, and I'm okay with that. And then put the face back on. And let's take a look at what we got here. Okay, so there's what I think is the dad. So now I am going to select the whole dad, the first one, and the other one. I'm going to do Control or Command G and group it. And now I'm going to duplicate, Control or Command J, hide the first one. I'm going to rasterize him again. So now we're only working, whoops. I don't know, we must have had something in there. So let's get rid of that. I'll just take that away right now. Select anything there and cut. Okay. So now we should have just the dad, right, and the cat. And maybe the cat is on this side of the dad, however you want to do it, like he's going to be petting dad, and we'll put the cat up ahead. So how about we do something like that? And if we want, once again, we could do dodge and burn if we want to do dodge and burn on here. For example, I think dodge should lighten it up a little. Let's see how that works. I want to go soft brush and maybe like the stomach a little lighter right here. I'm tapping. And sometimes the chest. And then we can go to burn. Let's go burn. And maybe like on the sides, a little bit of darkness here. It's just very subtle. And you could do other kinds of things, obviously. And we did burn on the sleeves like before. Kind of gives it a little more interest on the fingers and on the face, especially down near the bottom of the face. It helps with the 3D effect. And I think I kind of like this. So let's do now we turn on the garden background and the cartoon background, whatever you want to call it. And we can size them to fit it, or we can size the photo, because in case we want to keep them the same size, we don't have to use this. We can have them in the garden here and feel like, oh, this one's here. Walk them around. Or if you have a photo of your house like I showed you before, instead we can put them at the house. And there's someone coming out of the front porch like that. And here's the cat. And in fact, if we really wanted to, let's get a close-up here. And let's look at the dad here. We could make it look like he's behind. So let's see how we could do this. We can put a mask on it. And with the mask, if we paint get a paintbrush, make a large. If we paint in black, we can show like he's still behind there, and maybe his arm is behind the railing, like that. Now we should bring a little back on this side. You got what I'm saying, though. You know what I mean. So I'm just like playing right now, and I'm making it longer than I wanted to. So you get the idea. But take a drawing of your kids, and you have two ways of doing it. You can create something, print it out, and give it to them and show them and make it very cool, and they could be surprised. Or they can sit here with you, and as you're designing it, as you're taking their graphics and making it into 3D, they can say to you, hey, maybe this cat, let's say we had this cat, and maybe we want from this cat, you could talk to the kids and even add more, like, oh, you know what, I think I want stripes on that cat. So let's pick some of this orange, like, I don't know, like this. And maybe I want some little squiggly stripes. You could say to them, do you want that on it? And you can just do that on the thing. And have stripes on your cat and put stripes on the tail. So you can kind of have fun. So I know my tutorials are wacky, and they're not meant to give you like perfect end results. They're meant to show you that you can do all kinds of different things with Affinity Photo if you play around. So I hope you liked this tutorial, and if you did, please click like and subscribe, and have a great day.